I'll try new clothes, I said. It'll be fun, I said. How the hell do you make this look normal? I don't understand. Sometimes I'm like a whisper in a riot, but I grow stronger, keep believing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Megan Tennant. You probably already knew that, but some of you guys might be new to this channel, and if you are new, there's a subscribe button. You should probably wait till the end of the video before you push it, because this could be a terrible video you don't know yet. So yes, video, topic, what are we talking about? Today we are talking about how to stay focused. Now, some of these tips are kind of how to stay focused on your project long term. Some of the tips are how to stay focused in the moment when you're sitting in front of the computer and everything around you wants your attention. It's just kind of a mixed bucket of advice. And again, we're counting the list backwards because that's what we do now. So top tip for staying focused on your novel, number 13, make a nest. If you can, make a space dedicated solely to work. Or at least find a place that isn't dedicated to relaxation. I know a lot of people who write in bed, and maybe that can work for some people, but it also trains your brain to view the bed as a possible workspace, which makes you psychologically more likely to have trouble sleeping, because when you're sleeping, your brain doesn't necessarily know if you're supposed to be working or you're supposed to be sleeping. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but brains are kind of dumb. Basically, if you have separate spaces for sleep and relaxation, your brain will have tons of cues all around it telling it what mode it should be in. And I know that sounds silly because we are our brains, so we should know, but there's a subconscious level to it, and that subconscious level of our brain is dumb. And you have to treat it as such. You should also keep your work area fairly clutter-free, and this is in regards to both things on your desk, but also tabs. And I know what you're thinking. We follow your Twitter, we've seen all of the posts, and yes, I have a billion tabs open at any given time on any computer I so much as look at. But when I'm writing, I open a fresh window on top of all the windows with the tabs, and I write from that. I write in Google Docs, so I write in browser. But yes, fresh window, because anything that's within your range of view when you're sitting down and trying to focus is something that's going to be trying to get your attention. Maybe if you have a couple decorations that inspire you, that's fine, but try to keep your area fairly clean.
Hey honey, can I use your computer while mine updates?
Yeah, of course.
Where is it?
It's right here.
I am not dealing with that.
Number 12, shut out your companions for short intervals. Have kids? Escape to a coffee house. Or duct tape them to a tree. Sometimes when you need to focus on writing, you need time to yourself. Kids, cats, husband, actors on Netflix shows. Go find a space where they don't exist. Are your cats bothering you? Make a fortress out of cardboard and tape catnip to it. They will be busy for hours. Use headphones with some nice background music. Move to a remote cabin in the middle of the woods and hope you don't get murdered, or at the very least that you only get murdered a little, because then you can write a book about it. You know, just average everyday ways to escape the companions in your life. Number 11, know your weaknesses. Breaks are important. I say that as I am someone who does not know how to take breaks, so don't take advice from me. That wasn't the right thing to say in a video giving you advice, but breaks are important. I don't take them. I should take them. I need to learn how to take them. But if your issue is with you taking too many breaks, take some time to identify what specific things are your weaknesses and then combat those things. Turn off the internet if you have to, if you have no self-control. Get LastPass and then change all of your social media passwords to be these super long strings of characters. Log out of all of your social profiles on your phone so that the only way to log into them is to manually copy over this gigantic string of characters, which of course you're not gonna do because who has time for that? And then, yay, you are free from social media, congratulations! You'll also be very frustrated anytime you want to access social media, but that's the cost of freedom. So LastPass, go get it, because I use LastPass and I love it. And I don't use it for this purpose because I unlike you guys, have the self-control to not take breaks ever and slowly let my mental health deteriorate until I can no longer function in a creative fashion because self-control. Yeah. Another great way to achieve this is take your computer and start 2 separate profiles, one for work and one for play. Then on your work side, only install apps that you need for work. Don't leave your browser logged into social media. Don't install the LastPass extension unless it's a separate LastPass account that doesn't have your passwords to social media. And then use that side just for work. This has a double benefit that it also separates out your files between work and casual stuff, so you don't go looking for a work file and stumble upon a folder full of funny memes and then get lost in it for an hour. You can also have different backgrounds, so you have again a separation in cues so that your brain more quickly falls into the right mode. Number 10, set a timer. This one only works for some people. It's not something I implement, but some people have a lot easier time focusing when they know that there's a time limit and that they don't have to track the clock themselves, because as soon as that time is up and they get to go back and check social media, a very annoying sound is gonna play to break them out of their focus. Don't set a limit to how many words you should get out in this time period, but just sit down in front of the computer and pay attention to nothing but writing while that timer is running. Number 9, make to-do lists. I know this sounds like something overly used and like how helpful could that really be, but there's an actual psychology behind why making to-do lists actually really helps you focus. Because the thing is, if you know that there's an email you have to respond to or a video you need to edit, you're not gonna consciously think about it, but there's gonna be a part of your brain that's holding on to that information because it knows it's important. And as long as it thinks that information is important, it's not gonna let go of it. And the more information is being hoarded in this part of your brain, the more distracted you're gonna be. You wanna clear all of that out. The easiest way to do that is to just write it down, because then your subconscious knows that this information is being tracked somewhere else. Now, you might think that this just encompasses things like tasks, but it actually extends a lot further than that. This could be anything from buy milk to think about how I feel about the ending of How to Train Your Dragon 3 and go rewatch that one scene again so that I can cry again, and then probably rewatch it some more because I want to suffer apparently. Why am I like this? Number 8, keep a blank page or a blank open notebook next to you on the desk, and whenever your focus is broken from writing for any thought or thought process, just take a second to jot it down. Don't pay any attention to coherency, don't pay attention to the fact that your handwriting looks like you're a drunk toddler chicken. Just scroll it down and then let yourself forget about it. When your brain is trying to hold on to information and commit it to memory, that's taking brain power. And then another thought adds to it, and then another, and before you know it, you have all of these thoughts just bouncing around, taking up energy that doesn't need to be taken up. Number 7, don't multitask. Believe me, this is one of my biggest issues. This is something that I need to learn myself, because my brain likes to trick me into thinking that if I'm multitasking, I'm getting more done. I'm being more productive because I'm doing all of these things at the same time. But the thing is, when you're doing multiple things at once, your focus is obviously being pulled in multiple different directions, which means that none of those items are getting your full focus, which means they're gonna take way longer to complete. And you're gonna be more frustrated while trying to complete them. If you just take one task at a time and focus entirely on it, you're ultimately gonna get all of your tasks done way faster and with way higher quality. Number 6, keep your mind and body healthy. You can't focus when your body is deprived of sleep or food, because your mind's performance is very heavily influenced by your health, from mental health to just overall physical health. So put your health first, because it will make your writing better. For this, you can do anything from eating healthier to taking breaks if maybe you don't take enough breaks, but put time aside to focus on improving your health. Number 5, have good reasons. If your brain doesn't think what you're doing is worth it, it's gonna be really hard for you to focus. So ask yourself, why do you want to write? And I want to clarify here, you can want to make money. That's perfectly fine. If you want this to become a full-time career, you're gonna need to make money. But if you're in this just to get rich, I hate to break it to you, but you are in the wrong career path. If you want to get rich fast, make an app where people can get higher quality cat gifs that don't look like they were filmed on a flip phone. But alternatively, if you don't believe you could learn to program, there's plenty of other easier ways to make money. You can sell pictures of your feet online. That's a thing apparently. Don't ask me how I know that. If you're a visual person, and again, have handwriting that doesn't look like a drunk toddler chicken, you can write your reasons on pieces of paper or rustic looking wood. I don't know what crafty people do. Put it up behind your desk and that can help motivate you throughout the day. Number 4, keep a semi-strict schedule. By this I mean be strict about when you force yourself to sit down in front of the page, but if you're super into it that particular day, let yourself write longer. If you're not feeling it at all, maybe let yourself end a little early. But if it's on the schedule for you to write, sit down in front of the computer, put your fingers on the keyboard, and if nothing happens, nothing happens, but you tried. Remember, long breaks from a book are good if you just finished the first draft, in which case you need to walk away for a while. But long breaks are not good in any other period of writing the book, because if you walk away for 2 weeks or more, you're gonna start to slip out of that world. And when you come back to writing, you're not gonna be in the same place you used to be. You're not gonna have the same connection to the story or even your author voice. All of that stuff starts to slip away very quickly. Believe me, I have been there. I have a vacation home there. And without a schedule, you'll end up like me, where you're 99.7% sure that you wrote like a few days ago, but then you open up the Google Doc and it says last edited 16 days ago, and then you start to really think about it and you realize that it has been 16 days. Strict schedule. I'm forcing myself into that this month. We'll see how that goes. Number 3, consistently feed your creative beast. To create, we have to consume. And it might not seem like that, and if you quit consuming, you're not gonna notice the effects right away, but it will catch up to you. Nothing in the world creative is truly original. We build stories out of materials, and those materials have to come from somewhere. Our life makes up some of the building blocks, but you need more than that. Find a frequent event that happens on a schedule in your life, and then tie that to consuming other people's creative work. Maybe every single time you eat, you stop and watch a show you enjoy. Maybe every single time your cat falls asleep on your leg and you get trapped for hours on end, you open up your YouTube app and you watch my videos. This isn't a plug, you're a plug. Go subscribe, but also go consume creative things, preferably things that relate to stories. Or my videos. You know, either one of those. Number 2. This is definitely kind of a more long-term one, and that is track your habits. After you've finished a writing session, write down the end time and how productive you were. And then, of course, also you want to write down the start time. Do this over a couple weeks or a couple months, and this will help you find what times of the day you're most productive during, as well as possibly help you identify what things are breaking you out of the flow and ending your writing early. Because our brain isn't the same amount of focus throughout the day. And you might think you're a night owl, but maybe your focus is actually highest 3 hours after you wake up. There's not really a way to know that besides just trying out a lot of different times and seeing which ones work best. And last but not least, number 1, set achievable goals. Your goals should be challenging enough that you have to reach for them, but they need to be something you can actually grasp. Because if you never achieve a goal, you're not gonna get that nice dopamine hit, and therefore you're not gonna get that same addiction to the tasks that you would otherwise. There are only a few things that make us truly happy as humans: serotonin and dopamine. Dopamine is extremely important for creating habits, and you get that by feeling accomplished. You can't feel accomplished if anytime you start to get near your goal, you take that bar and you raise it up just a little bit more out of reach. Let yourself succeed. And I don't just mean for short-term goals like a to-do list, I mean in terms of long-term goals. And that was it for this video. If after listening to this, you're starting to wonder if maybe your work in progress is the problem, I did 2 videos covering that. So make sure to go watch both of them. I'll link them in the description down below. Let me know in a comment what's the thing that most helps you focus. I'm interested to see what you guys do. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and a share. It actually really helps this channel grow, helps us continue to bring this content to you. If you aren't subscribed already, go hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, there's a bell. You should hit that instead. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.